So about these One Piece hypotheticals, this video is a direct piggyback off my previous one, because while I was making the other video about Luffy not growing up with Ace and Sabo, I was thinking about how it would affect the story, not just Luffy's childhood, but even after that, and it made me realize that Marineford itself would just be gone. There would be no reason for Luffy to go to Marineford, since he would have no connections to Ace, and probably just wouldn't care at all about it. But I thought about it some more and I realized that maybe Luffy should care, because if Ace wasn't the one being held for execution, it might have ended up being Luffy instead. Because the reason Ace got locked up was because of Blackbeard. Ace lost to him and Blackbeard turned him in to become a warlord. But that wasn't really what Blackbeard had planned. Initially, Blackbeard was looking for Luffy instead, and was trying to turn Luffy in to become a warlord, since the Marines were starting to acknowledge Luffy more, with how fast he was coming up as a pirate. So Blackbeard was trying to find Luffy and then turn him in. It was just that Ace ended up being the one to be turned in, since Ace was hunting down Blackbeard, and Ace didn't want Blackbeard to meet with Luffy, so he just fought him there and then. But now that Ace doesn't know Luffy, Ace won't really need to intervene for that reason, so it is likely that instead of Ace being locked up, Luffy is the one who gets locked up by Blackbeard. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. What would really change in the Marineford saga if Luffy was locked up instead of Ace? Before that though, like and subscribe for future content. First thing I can say is that it definitely wouldn't turn into a war like how it is now. The only reason it turned into a war was because Whitebeard got involved, and without Ace, Luffy will have no affiliation with him. And also the fact that the Marines wanted to broadcast Ace's execution to make an example of him for other pirates. Since Ace was a pretty infamous guy, Luffy was decently known at that point. He had like a 300 million berry bounty around this time, so he definitely had made himself at least somewhat known. But it wasn't on the same scale as Ace, with him having a 500 million berry bounty, as well as the fact that Ace is a 2nd Division commander of a Yonko crew, so it will be a lot more impactful executing someone like Ace. I imagine for Luffy, he'll probably get an execution, but it won't be anywhere near the scale of Ace's, so Luffy won't have a whole fleet coming to rescue him or anything, but at the very least he will have his crew to try and help him, because this would all happen before they reach Sabaody, so the fight with Blackbeard will happen before they got sent to different islands by Kuma. They might even have been able to win if that was the case. Against Blackbeard I mean, because if it is just one-on-one, at that point in time Blackbeard was stronger than Luffy, but I'm pretty sure Blackbeard's crew wasn't with him during that time, or they weren't in the direct vicinity of him anywhere. They were off doing other stuff, and Blackbeard went to go do a solo. But just for the sake of the hypothetical, let's just assume that Luffy still loses. Luffy still gets turned into the Marines and locked up in Impo Down. Actually, here's a quick question for anyone that knows this. Did Blackbeard even get Ace's reward when he turned him in? I know Blackbeard is a pirate, but I don't think they can just refuse someone the money just for being a pirate. He was still able to turn in Ace just like they wanted. I don't think they ever did, but I feel like they would, especially since they even turned Blackbeard into a warlord. So they would even have at least a neutral relationship with Blackbeard. I've never really seen anything like that in the story, to be honest, of any characters at all getting rewarded for turning in a pirate for their bounty. The only character that has ever done that was Zoro, but we never even seen him do it on screen. The only reason we know that Zoro got bounties is because of his nickname. He was able to live off the bounties of pirates he collected. But yeah, if anyone knows, let me know in the comments. That's something I think has never really happened in the story. But yeah, as I was saying, Luffy gets turned in and thrown into Impo Down. Now instead of it being a whole saga of the prison outbreak into a war, I think it will get shortened a lot in this hypothetical. Instead of it being the way it is now, I think it will just be shortened to being a jailbreak. Specifically with the Straw Hats going into Impo Down to sneak out Luffy, or maybe not even sneak him out, because if Luffy got locked up, it is very likely that the rest of the crew also got locked up, so they would all probably be scattered across different levels of the prison. I think that would turn out to be a pretty good arc, where Luffy will probably be locked up on the same level as Zoro. They probably wouldn't be at the very bottom, maybe Luffy, but the others wouldn't be there. The only other person I can see being close to that is Zoro being one level above it, so pretty much just an upward escape where they gather the crew back together along with other characters and have a huge breakout. So Luffy will probably still meet Ivankov and Jinbei and all the other characters already there as well. But yeah, that is pretty much what I imagine going down if Luffy had gotten locked up instead of Ace. If you enjoyed, like and subscribe for future content. Peace.